Hi guys, it's Savannah again, and today I will be going over week 6's advanced concepts on aspirin and how it works in our bodies. So the enzyme that aspirin affects is cyclooxygenase, which I'm going to abbreviate as COX, C-O-X, and it's an enzyme that regulates prostaglandins, which is what increases inflammation, pain, swelling, fever when needed. Obviously, we don't want that all the time. And this COX enzyme has two isoforms, COX-1, which is primarily for platelet activation and protects the gastrointestinal tract, so that's the prostaglandin glands that it's going to regulate. And COX-2 regulates the prostaglandin glands that are released because of infection, injury, I was going to say sickness, but infection, etc. So under normal conditions, this enzyme COX, it metabolizes arachidonic acid. So this thing right there, and this is the structure, and that actually comes from membrane phospholipids through the enzyme phospholipase A. So through COX, it also has this pathway that I can make more like immune system mediators and such. But for this part, what COX does is creates the prostaglandin gland G2, which is this structure right here, and then further converts that to prostaglandin gland H2, which is this structure right here. They were a little close together, so I highlighted them. And then through specific synthases, we get more prostaglandins, which, like I said before, I kind of just wrote there some definitions and such because I thought it would maybe stick with me for my future. So yeah, we get a bunch of prostaglandins. We also get prostacyclins and thromboxans, or TXA2. So, yep, that is a normal condition of the enzyme COX. With aspirin, so aspirin is a irreversible inhibitor that covalently binds and inhibits the enzyme COX and therefore blocks the synthesis of all these things. So because we know aspirin, whether it's for your heart and the platelet aggregation or, a fever that won't go away when you need to go to work, something like that, aspirin's good. So that's why we take it. So the way aspirin works, though, is through acetylation, and specifically acetylating the serine in the COX enzyme's active site. So, and that is on the serine. In COX-1, because like I said, they have two isoforms. In COX-1, it acetylates the serine position 530, and in COX-2, it acetylates the position in 516, and the other byproduct is salicylic acid, but we don't care about that. And so its effects are more major on COX-1. It totally inhibits the enzyme, so there's nothing made from there. So obviously that, it's going to really decrease the inflammation and effects of the immune system. So COX-2, it switches the catalytic activities, so it metabolizes arachidonic acid, but rather than making prostaglandins, it makes 15, I call it 15 hete, or hete, and that's the structure right there. And this is a leukotriene that actually has anti-inflammatory properties to it. So kind of double doses, inhibiting the prostaglandins and also creating molecules that can aid in the anti-inflammatory process. So that is how aspirin works, and I think I covered everything, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.